So if you happen to be like an executive, doctor, lawyer, engineer, high achieving, high performing, considerably man, and you're looking for your future wife, or you're in a relationship with someone who you think might be your wife, you think might be your life partner, but you're not sure, and you have overall been struggling for this for ever since ages. This video is for you. If you want to find a wife and not a trophy wife and not a side piece, and maybe you're like, well, I still kind of want a trophy wife. Um, if you define trophy wife as someone who just sits at home and is pretty and has no intellectual, deep relationship with you, then click off this video. And if you're only looking for a side piece, also click off this video. But if you're looking for an actual wife who is there for you, who supports you, who's intellectual, who has a deep connection with you, who you love and respect and cherish and value, who will stay with you for the rest of your life as a life partner after you retire, this video is for you, and that is exactly what I do on my channel, so stay tuned. And I'm going to be very blunt. Honestly, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So first things first is, if you have the Madonna whore complex, get that out of there. You don't want this, okay? Because this is screwing up your ability to find your actual wife. What it is basically if you do have this, that means you categorize people into different categories, or women in particular. There's people who you see as a wife or side piece, or trophy is kind of like out of this category, but if you have this Madonna whore complex, you will see some women as perfect, the woman who raise your kids, who will raise your kids, who will cook you dinner when you come back home. That's the wife. That's the Madonna. The whore part is the side piece, is the woman who you consider, quote unquote, for the streets, is the woman who you will disrespect, who you won't treat so nicely because you think they deserve it. Okay, but if that's not you, if you don't have this complex, then great. Even easier for you to find your wife. And look, I'm not saying that you need to be with a woman who has slept with multiple people. If that's not your thing, that's fine. We all have preferences, okay? That's on you. I don't really care, okay? But if you have a specific categorization of women, right? As in, you can love your wife, you can respect her, but you can't be romantically or sexually attracted to her. And as for the side piece, that's the person you lust over. That's the person you're sexually attracted to, but she's not someone you respect or love. That's the difference. Okay, this isn't even about preferences at the end of the day. It's not about who you see as a wife, who you see as a side piece. It's about the fact that you're separating love and sexual attraction from your wife. You know what I mean? So if you have this different categorization, aka the Madonna whore complex, well, guess what happens if your wife just does one small thing that you quote unquote, not even quote unquote, that you actually categorize as the side piece? Oh, wait. Oh, no. There's arguments. There's tension. There's dislike. There's resentment. Because you think that, oh, well, you did that. You're not my wife. You're a side piece now. You don't deserve me. You quote unquote belong on the streets just because you did XYZ. Right? So that makes sense to you. Continue watching, because I'm going to tell you why the more effort you put in, the more time you put in, the more actions you do, that's causing you to find only a trophy wife and only a side piece. Because when you act through your actions, for you right now, since you clicked on this video and you're still watching, you probably have trouble with finding a wife. Okay, it's probably because you're acting through your actions, which end up attracting people who only want to be your trophy, who only see you as money, who see you as a bank, who see you for what you do, not who you are. They see, oh, you're an engineer, oh, you're a lawyer, you're an executive, you're a business owner, wow, you're rich, okay, I want to be with you, and I'll give you my beauty and my youth, but I don't really care about you as a person. Okay, that's how you get a trophy wife, when you act through your actions. And also, that's how you get side pieces in your life. That's how you attract people who only want to get laid. Or you want to get laid. I don't know the verbs, okay? Anyway, but when you start acting through the identity of a man who can attract the wife that you want, that is when you find your future wife. That is when you can even spot a woman who is wife quality for you, whatever and whoever you describe that to be. Okay, that's up to you to decide who you see your future wife as. But you need to understand actions and identity, because actions is what you consciously do, right? You're consciously pushing yourself using discipline to make an effort to achieve a goal. And you think that's doing you a favor, but it's not. You're doing yourself a disservice when you stop acting and when you don't act through your identity. And this doesn't mean, well, I identify as an engineer, I identify as a brother, I identify as a husband. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the things that make 99% of your entire reality, which is quite literally the truth, which is not your consciousness, but rather your subconscious that is made up from your thoughts, your habits, your habits, your thoughts, your memories. All these things that are subconscious. And then what goes even deeper than the subconscious is the unconscious. But I kind of categorize them too in the same kind of way. Okay, it's things that you're not totally aware of, but that dictate your reality. And you're like, well, I don't believe it. Oh, you should. Because think about it, your beliefs. When you believe that you will never be able to find a wife, what's going to happen when your friends are like, hey, do you want to go on a ski trip on the weekend? Do you want to go out for drinks? And you're feeling lazy. But combine that with the belief that you believe you're never going to find your wife, you're not going to take that chance, that opportunity of going out and meeting new people, maybe bumping into your future wife. You're not going to do that because you don't even believe it's ever possible for you to find a life partner. But when you have the belief that, you know what, this is possible. I believe there's someone out there for me. I believe that these type of women do exist. When you believe that, what's going to happen to your mind? Your mind is going to say, well, okay, if I believe this, that means it's true. So I may as well go put some effort and some time and some energy. I think it's worth it. I might get an outcome from it. I might get a result. I might get something that I want out of it. So then you're going to go ahead and do the thing. You're going to go do things that align with your beliefs, which essentially will create your reality. Your reality. Because then it affects your actions. But when you're only acting from actions, as I like to call it, and you're not going through with your thoughts or your beliefs, well then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how much effort you put. It doesn't even matter how you were doing things if you do not change your beliefs and your thoughts. And third thing is your emotions and your nervous system. But before we get to that, the thoughts are things that you see, hear, taste, touch, feel. All your 5 senses. For example, if you're watching porn, how is that going to make you view women as? If you're constantly listening to sad music talking about heartbreak, what's going to happen then? If you're in a relationship and you think you're vibing along with sad music, right? There is some sad music that sounds good. I'm guilty of it too. But I stopped listening to that because then it starts making me feel sad. And maybe that's not your case, and that's fine. If you can easily detach from sad music and just vibe with it because it's a good song, great. But I know for me, at least, I get really deeply affected by it. Not just the way it sounds, but, certain songs, they have lyrics. And so that literally will start getting into your subconscious. Will start literally becoming your thoughts. You're going to think about those songs. Think about it, how advertisements work. They work through repetition. You're constantly seeing an advertisement of, I don't know, DoorDash, of Febreze. I keep getting those for some reason. Right? And then you will automatically start thinking about it. And when you think about certain things, you're going to start seeing it more in your reality. When you start seeing it more in reality, you're going to start interacting with it more. So this one super weird example, right? Like the Febreze thing. I keep seeing it, when I'm watching YouTube or whatever. And what's going to happen when I go out to, I don't know where they sell Febreze at, like Walmart or something? I'm going to easily spot it. And if I easily spot it, I'm probably going to end up buying Febreze over some other company, over some other, brand, right? It's as simple as that. Next thing's up is nervous system. So it's super easy. If you are constantly stressed, constantly in a state of fight or flight, right? So your sympathetic nervous system is running as opposed to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is, based off of being relaxed and things like that. If your mind is so focused on, oh my gosh, I have a project that I need to do, they're getting me to do so much work, I have like tens of thousands of patients that I gotta do, that I gotta work with, I have clients that are constantly bothering me or ignoring me, your mind is gonna be focused on that. It's not gonna say, okay, let me just be calm, let me be aware of my thoughts and my beliefs, let me fix that. No, your mind's not gonna care. Your mind is not gonna care about being aware, being alone with your thoughts. That takes your parasympathetic nervous system over your sympathetic nervous system. So S for stress. So when you're stressed, it's your sympathetic nervous system. That's how I kind of do that. Remember that. So remember, if you understand that, you're gonna understand that all of your actions, every single one, is determined by all of your actions are predetermined by your subconscious and your unconscious, as I explained. Every single one, think about it. Literally scientifically, okay, you can go search this up. I'm not just pulling information out of thin air. Okay? If you have a choice between an apple and an orange, and you choose an apple, your brain has already decided before you actually consciously went for the apple. Even before you consciously were like, oh, I like the apple, and then you grab it. No, before that, your brain has decided for you through your unconscious, through your subconscious, through all your past experiences, your memories, and everything, and your five senses, etc. Okay, so always prioritize identity over actions, because when you align your identity with the man who has the wife that you want, your actions will automatically change. Automatically. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this. Okay. And if it doesn't work, then come back on my channel and start sending me hate comments. I don't know. I'm kidding. Okay. But seriously. So finding your wife takes work. You got to work through those, your identity, your beliefs, your thoughts, your, emotional state, and etc. So wife equals work. WW. As for the trophy and the side piece, the trophy's temporary in your life. It's not always super long lasting. There's no deep real connection. Same as the side piece. The side piece is gonna slip away. So S and S, T and T. Because it's not a true deep connection. And if you want to learn more about this, and if you want to work one-on-one with me to know exactly how to spot your future wife and exactly what problems you're having, well, join my Relationship Clarity Blueprint one-on-one coaching, 90 days, or a money back guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed 90 days, and you're gonna know exactly how to spot your future wife and why things are not going so well. This goes for whether you're in a relationship or not. So yeah, DM me on Instagram, the word clarity, or click the link below, book a call with me. We can just even talk about it. Or even if you have like any sort of questions, book a call with me, super easy, or even email me, okay? Just don't spam me, okay? Don't spam me. Yeah. I have a ton of videos coming up soon. So stay tuned. If you have any feedback, comments, disagreements, or things that you agree with, things that you want to see, questions that you have, advice even for me, put it in the comments below. Share this video with your other friends, your coworkers that are having trouble finding a wife, and see you in the next video.